And where did she go? You were here. I was like, oh my God.
Sorry, I accidentally hung up on you.
I was like, I said your hair looks good. Like, what? Like, why are you hanging up on me?
I hung up. Sorry. Are you okay this morning?
My eyes are just watering. My eyes are watering this morning because of just the computer and all the crap. I'm waking up. My eyes just, and I don't want to wear these right now because I want the glare. So I'm just going to brave it right now.
Okay. Cool.
No, it was busy here in Inglewood last night, of course, the Super Bowl, and it was all crazy till 3 in the morning. People were just like hooting and hollering in my neighborhood. But back to your hair. Your hair looks really beautiful today. What did you do different?
Well, I actually had it cut.
Okay.
So, and then I just styled it yesterday, and
Looks
some
good.
days it works really well, and some days it's, throw it up in a bun.
Oh yeah, I understand that. I patted this down today, so I do understand. I haven't had
So lots of hooting and hollering from the Super Bowl in your neighborhood, huh?
Oh yes, and this morning we had the news helicopters at 7 in the morning. And so I've gotten barely any sleep just because it's been so crazy. Because we had people shooting off guns and fireworks, and it was like I got some sleep, but then I was watching Under the Dome. I hadn't watched that in years. Like I'll sit here and watch some Paramount Plus. Like I'll watch a couple episodes. That's like 4 episodes of that. It's like 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, it's 3 in the morning, but they were still making noise.
Well, it's kind of a big deal, right? To win in your house, the Super Bowl.
I know.
That's a big deal.
No, I know. No, I get it. I mean, my sister and I were 2 blocks away. They could hear everything also. Flo said he could hear where he was too. Like it was, I mean, I posted on Facebook yesterday in the morning. I was like, okay, everybody, it's Inglewood, not Los Angeles. Inglewood's the place to be today. And everybody was laughing and commenting, and I said, yeah, because I this whole week they've been preparing for this thing.
Yeah.
I noticed on the news sometimes there were times when they said Inglewood a lot, like they don't see Inglewood that much on it. Oh my God, it's Inglewood a lot. But then there's times they go, we know it's South LA. I'm like, no, it's Inglewood. It's not South LA. We're in Inglewood.
You have to make it sexy.
They do, right? It bugs the shit out of me. So I'm like, no, it's Inglewood. We are in this stadium is in Inglewood. It's in the realm, it's in the boundaries of Inglewood. Yes. And the Clipper Stadium will also be in Inglewood. It's down the streets. So the forum is in Inglewood. I mean, I was like this, come on, folks. So it just bugs me. So I made a point to have my Inglewood pride yesterday because neither of my teams were in there. So I didn't care which one won. I mean, I was like, oh.
Who are your teams?
So my team is Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
We came close. So I was still smarting from that. We were in the playoffs, so we didn't make it. And then I come from another household, those are 49ers. Of course, I live in San Francisco. So if Steelers don't win, then I'd root for 49ers. And they came close also. They were Rams fan. I was never a Rams fan, even when they were in LA before. But I was like, I get the whole thing that it's LA pride in LA, in Inglewood, but also it's also part of LA in Southern California. Home. I get all that. I mean, I got all that. Yeah. But I didn't care. I mean, but then I have family from Cincinnati. And they were all commenting, at least it's a saying called Who Day. It's a saying. I had my Skyline chili. It was a whole thing. So I was like, I'm part of the whole world. I'm part of Ohio. I'm part of LA. I'm part of So then I have friends in St. Louis because they loved when the Rams were there. So they were rooting for the Rams to win, obviously, because they just. So it was a big thing. But for me, I didn't. And the halftime show, of course, was nice. It was very, very cool. And
it was awesome. I think that was the best. And I've been watching Super Bowl for a really long time. I think that was the best halftime show, from the staging to the performance to the performers, the dance. Everything was choreographed. It was all on point. It was great.
It was good.
It was great.
My favorite is Prince. I will always say Prince is my favorite.
Well, yeah. Well, it's hard to beat Prince, but Prince is a solo act. You had all of those acts intertwining without missing a beat.
No, they're good. No, it was good. Prince is the number one, but it was good. No, it was good. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, it's the music we like, music we all like, and it was good.
I guess I'm more commenting though on the whole show. Like it felt like a true halftime Super Bowl show.
It felt
you know?
too short for me. A lot of people said the same thing. It felt like it went by so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't, but all those people, like, why did it go by so fast? I was like, it's like, it's gonna go shorter. I don't know. I was like, oh, it's over. Oh, okay. Just getting into it. Well, they all have so many hits. They all have, each one has so many hits. I know it's hard to, but I wouldn't want to produce a show like that. I mean, try to get, you do these 3 songs. Well, what 3 songs you can do, Eminem? Like and Mary J. Blige, you do these, it's like a lot. They all have a lot of hits. So it's kind of tough. They wanted the Tupac hologram, didn't happen. Everybody was hoping for that. Didn't happen. But other than that, no, I thought no, it was good. I'm just a Prince fanatic, so Prince will always be number 1. But Donna did a great job. She did hers. Janet, even though Nipplegate happened, Janet and Justin were really good. They were really good. It was a good show. So that's good. I mean, a lot of folks only watch it for the commercials and halftime show anyway. I think that's, the Doctor Strange trailer dropped. We're gonna see that. I mean,
right.
What kind of stuff like that.
Well, there were a lot of commercials that were repped by big time A actors. That was a constant theme, was you kept having all of these big time actors reoccurring in these commercials. And I'm thinking to myself this whole time, how much are they paying these people? Like, how much money goes into?
I can tell you. I have friends.
Tell me, I want to know.
I have friends in the business. One of my friends, Edward Babayan, they had a Super Bowl commercial with oh my God, well, now I'm blanking on their names. They're big time actors were in it. They actually shot it in Boston. They had to do a whole Boston accent, this whole thing. Many of them get paid anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 to be in a commercial, because these commercials go around. It's the biggest, besides the Oscars, the biggest ad time, ad revenue for them, and because the whole world sees it.
Yeah.
They have the budget, and they start planning 6, 7, 8 months in advance to even do them. So it's like you have a team that works on it the whole year, literally, and decides what's the best commercial, and as you know, we work in sales and stuff like that. And you have to make sure it's something that's timely, something that makes sense. If it's gonna be funny, make sure it's funny. If it's gonna be heartwarming, make sure it's heartwarming. Make sure it tugs it. I mean, so it's they work on it all. They work on it all year, basically, for this 30-second spot or a minute. It's crazy how much it goes into just this one little spot. And is the actor somebody who fits the brand? Is an actor that fits the sketch or whatever it is? There's a lot. I've heard from him, others. There's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot for your career as an ad person. His career is shot up.
Yeah, of course.
Because you had a commercial in the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah, that's a great resume here. Just let me show you my resume.
Super Bowl.
No, Super Bowl.
I'd love to be an ad. I'd be an ad if I even had no words.
You'd be an ad man?
But I said, no, because I'll be in the background so you can see me in the Super Bowl, because you can see my face in the background. I'll do whatever. I always tell you, like Star Wars, I'll do whatever. I'll just be a person in the background. I don't care. I just want to be part of the franchise. That's
boy, part of the franchise. That's some franchise.
Well, Book of Boba Fett ended this week, and we were just like, that was interesting. That was the
no spoiler alerts. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, okay, so you have to watch it. We'll see what you think. Yeah. Yes. We're this week on my network. We're going to talk about the whole season as a review. We did every episode, so now we're going to do the whole season.
I heard that it's slow in the beginning, but the last 3 episodes, really good.
Yeah, you said I can't say that, so I'm just going to let you watch it.
Okay.
They announced Ahsoka is going to start filming in April. I thought it was already filming already, and that's going to be Rosario Dawson. So it's actually fun. And then Obi-Wan Kenobi begins.
I know.
I'll be covering the after show also for that, so I'll be covering that too. So very excited. So they're trying to do the Marvel thing. They're trying to get in there and start pumping these out. Just smart.
Yeah.
Just smart. So, but. Yeah, the commercials were interesting. There's no commercial that stood out for me. Like some every year you do 1 or 2 that make me just go, "Oh my God, that was hilarious." They're all good. Just none of them stood out for me that made me go, "Okay."
They were well. It's because you're right. I don't, for me, think any one of them stood out either. They were all fun. I guess though, as a woman, I think the one that stood out to me that ran twice was the Mary J. Blige, make sure that you get
Oh
you know,
yeah,
your physical, and that's self-love. And I'm like,
okay.
yes, it is.
Well, my mother always swears by. I mean, she gets her mammograms every year, and my mother was very large-breasted, so she says how it's uncomfortable. I mean, I never had to go through it, so I don't know what it feels like. I mean, I've seen them.
I wouldn't know.
But you haven't had mammogram either yet?
No.
Better get one, girl, because she gets hers every year.
No. I get mine every year.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh, but the breath. That way, I'm sorry about the breath.
I don't have. Yes, I wouldn't know what it's like to have big breasts.
Yes, yeah. Well, my mother, so but she was telling me that that's how they found her cancer. We were so shocked because they saw something in there because of routine, and they caught it so early. I just a little PSA on this today with a little PSA. They found it so early as she was almost stage 0, which rarely happens. It was stage 1. Like it was all cysts. And so when when she had her surgery during COVID, mind you, during 2020, when we couldn't go to the hospital, I had to stay with my stepdad, who they're never separated, and he was so antsy. I had to keep him calm because we could go to the hospital back then. That's when everything was shut down. But she had a lumpectomy, and on both breasts, and they got all the cancer was in. They caught it. So I'm saying they caught it so early that was all in just the lumps.
Yeah.
They got it out, and she's cancer-free a year and a half now.
Good.
But seriously, no radiation needed, anything. She lucked out.
No, that's a great outcome.
I was saying, so folks, check your titties. They always say, check your boobies, check your titties. They'll be serious. And men, check your testicles, check your scrotum, check. I mean, seriously, it's one of those things that it's happening more than people think. But it gets scared. It's like, no, you need to check. And so with mammograms, she had friends who would never get them. I don't get one. It's just uncomfortable. She's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's like, I literally saved her life. Like literally saved her life.
It does save many, many lives. And my health insurance plan, and I think everybody's I think it's free. Yeah. Like it's not free. The insurance company has to pay for it, but I don't have to pay. I just have to show up and get the imaging done. And it is super uncomfortable. But at the same time, you leave, and when you get the clean bill of health every year, you feel pretty good about that. So,
well, our family, cancer runs in our family also. So I don't know about your family or the women in your family. I don't know if it runs in our family.
No,
okay,
not really.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have cancer and heart stuff runs in our family, so we have to always get those checked. I got secondary hypertension because my parents just had my brother and I. We all got it. I mean. Just because I was talking, that's just when I was skinny and I was young, and I was like, "Well, I have high blood pressure in my 20s," and they were like, "Oh," and I had a great Dr. Osmond. I was saying, shout out to Dr. Osmond. I used to love her. She was the bomb. And she was like, "Yeah, you got secondary hypertension," because I wasn't eating too crazy. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I was in shape. I mean, it wasn't like I was obese or that kind of stuff. I said, "Oh, that happens. Some things get passed down. So you have to like really watch." You have to kind of really watch. You can always overcome it. You just have to watch it really heavily. But my daughter got it now, so she has it. And she's young, so it's just running. It runs in our family, so we have to always be extra careful with that. So, but your health is important. A friend of mine just got Bell's palsy, and I was schooling him on what it's like. And I said, you can be one of the lucky ones where it lasts a month or two and you're done. But I said, I had a severe case, but I always tell him, and watching him triggered me. It was really weird. He's documenting his journey. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to watch it. I said, I'm sorry. It's just too soon for me. I wish. So I texted him and told him all the things that I did. That was holistically, there are things you can do. I'm part of several Bell's palsy groups because of it, and I try to help out and stuff, but he has right now it's his half his face is paralyzed. He can't close his eye, the whole thing. I'm just like, I can't watch it. It's too. Why
does that come on in people? What is it?
They say a lot of times. So what it is, it's a virus. There's several ways you can get it. This is good. Another PSA, folks, because we don't know this. I love talking about this stuff because you don't know. So in some cases, they come from a tick. They come from Lyme disease, a result of Lyme disease. So it enters your ear. And so what Bell's palsy is, your seventh nerve, your cranial nerve, gets inflamed. And what it does, for some reason, whatever that is connects to everything else, makes your face droop. It paralyzes your face. Usually just one side. They said there have been some rare cases where both sides get. I'm like, I couldn't imagine that, but usually it's one side. So Lyme disease is one, or extremely stressful situations can sometimes bring it on, make you susceptible to whatever's going on in the air, and that can make it inflamed, and then your face drops.
Do you get it more than once in a lifetime,
Yeah.
or is it? Oh, you can't.
My friend who got it now said he got it as a teenager. He's now in his late 30s. He got it as a teenager, mild case. My mother had twice, mild cases both times. And there's also skin dyskinesia that can happen afterwards also, where your skin does not rubber back. So usually, what the great things I was told was that it's muscle memory. So it drops, it should come back. Your brain, once the swelling goes, inflammation goes down, then you should be able to have the use of your face. I still have some complications from it, but I look mostly normal. My friend David, his eye is still droopy, even though he talks normal, but his eye is still droopy. That's his thing. He had kinesis afterwards. So yes, you can have surgery sometimes on that or whatever, like facial surgery. I have another friend who has no feeling in his face. There's no feeling in it. The nerves are too damaged. But see, a lot of times it's a mild case. You get it within a week or so, you start feeling better. Within 2-3 weeks, they say rest, rest, rest. No stress to your face. We forget how everything's connected. I did not realize, because I couldn't sneeze, I couldn't cough, I couldn't spit, I couldn't drink, I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk. It's the weird, I couldn't hiccup, everything was just, it stopped. Couldn't use a straw. And so, what they did with him, they use steroids. You first get it, prednisone. Well, first they bring you in and test you for a stroke. So when my mouth, because it's a slow, fast process. I woke up, I could use my mouth, but I hadn't gone paralyzed yet. My mouth was acting weird. I had a big earache, so I told my mother to go to the doctor. And I went there, and it was over the next 2 days, I washed my face slowly paralyzed. It's the scariest thing in my life. But it's one of those things where you have to wait till that happens. They test you for stroke, because if they catch a stroke within the first 6-7 hours, they can either reverse it or stop it. So people, you didn't know that also. So if you feel anything, just go to a doctor. They can handle it. But literally it's just the tissue that just starts to droop. It just goes down, and you can't stop it. Once it starts, you can't stop it. And then when it stops, that's when they say rest, prednisone for 2 weeks, and cyclovir. So that's what they gave me. That's all they can do. They're like, good luck. That's it. We can't do nothing else for you. So I had it for so long. So what I did later on in my recovery, I did acupuncture. That did help some. I tell people it was a stroke in my face. I tell all the time, it was a stroke basically in my face. It's the same symptoms. To me, it's a cousin to the stroke. You can't tell me any different. I had a foggy brain for a year. Couldn't think. I had severe headaches. Then I had anxiety attacks because I couldn't do certain things. So tea was my best friend. I had a lot of chamomile teas, and but they're saying for inflammation, folks, vitamins B6 and B12. So I ate foods rich in those, and took supplements. After I did the whole prednisone thing and rest thing, and it really did help me. It did. I'm proof. I'm proof of it. It took about 9-10 months total, but again, I had a severe case.
And when was this?
2018, 24 years ago. I always tell my anniversary is July 2nd, 2018.
Day after my birthday.
Oh, how weird! How funny! Yeah, July 2nd. I woke up. I had an earache the night before. I couldn't get rid of it. I was like, I took all this stuff, and I had 5 shows to do that night. 5 live shows. And we had to wear headphones. So I didn't take the headphone off because my ear was just like on fire. And I said, I can't watch those shows. And I look back and I can see my mouth not working.
And when you were doing the show, did you realize that there was something off?
No, I thought it was an earache. I thought I just earache. And I looked at a couple of shows. I can see my mouth is not working fully the way it should. but I had no
And you
idea.
didn't know at the time that your mouth wasn't working correctly.
No. So I was the adrenaline of being on camera. We were in studio on camera with my co-host. I'm so busy, like I get through these shows.
Yeah.
But then when I get home, I'll take another, 2 things of Advil or whatever and go to bed. That's what I kept thinking. That's what I did. Did 5 shows in North Hollywood. Took me half an hour to get home. Got home that night. Got in bed. Woke up to brush my teeth and I couldn't spit. I was like, why is this stuff just falling out? I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do this either. Like, why is this not going up? I couldn't do any of that. That was just weird. And I said, Benita, I think I'm going to go to my doctor right now, just because my clinic doctor was over here in Westchester, just like 10 minutes away. But so I'm going to do a walk-in. I'm just going to go over there and I'm just going to do it. And she's like, yes, son, you probably should. So I was like, am I having a stroke? I don't know, because I know this whole side of my face was like really, really weird. And she said, no, you better go. So I took an Uber. I went over there, and that's, they sat me there for 2 hours, and he goes, you have Bell's palsy. And he goes, the next two days or so, chances are your face will get worse. And that's the weirdest thing. I'm sitting going, I got Bell's palsy? Like, really? And to know that I couldn't stop it was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So
that's an interesting comment you just made about stopping it, because I'm prone to headaches, migraine, and tension. And I know after suffering so many years, I have go-to medicines.
Yep.
And the comfort is when I feel it coming on, I know I can stop it. I know I can prevent it. I can't imagine not being able to prevent it, and it just keeps coming on. Like, that part for me is serious. When you can't stop something in its tracks, you just have to let it go through the process.
And that's the thing, because it's so funny you say that, because normally you get something, you take this,
yes,
it goes away, right?
Yeah.
Bell's palsy, it don't go away. You can't take this and go away. And my friend now is at the stage where he can't close his eye. Because when I talked to him, he was like, you can't blink, or you don't blink anything. Nothing works. So, and so your eye dries out. But when I told him, he's like, thank God my eye is okay. So I said, get an eye patch just in case. I'm like, I kept telling him that. He's like, well, no, right now I'm good. I'm like, just listen to me. I'm telling you. And literally 2 days later, he's like, James, he was taping his eye down. They tell you to tape it down. So he couldn't close it. It wasn't working. You would think if it's droopy, your eye would just close. No, it doesn't do that.
No, I guess it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's really weird. Again, I was a nurse. Now, I thought I knew some shit. I didn't know nothing until I had Bell's palsy. I learned about the face. Oh, like, that's all kinds of stuff. It's all connected. It is all connected. And the worst part for me, the worst part, as we put a button on this, the worst part, the whole thing for me was I couldn't smile. You know me, I'm a smiley guy. You know that I'm a smiley guy. So when I would go out in public, now I wish it almost happened during COVID, because you had to wear masks, but matter. But see, I would go out in public, look like I'm this big, tall black man. People thought I was being mean. The reactions to me, like I couldn't smile. So I'm like, hi, how are you? They're like, fine. Like, they look at me weird.
Yeah.
Like, why does he look like that? And even when I started to get a little better, my face wasn't as droopy. I still couldn't smile. And so it was like, that was like one of the last things and I actually cried over that. I couldn't smile. I'm a smiley guy, I smile all the time. And that was the whole thing of the kind of like the angry black man was walking around, because I couldn't move my eyebrows, couldn't smile. And that was the weird thing for them. It was kind of like, people I saw the reactions. So I'm like, oh, okay, oh, I see. Well, thank you. I go, I have Bell's palsy. Then I would tell them, they go, oh, okay. And then a lot of people were like, what's Bell's palsy? What's that? I don't know what that is. So I had to explain, and I couldn't talk that much. I go, I can't talk that much. I can't move my mouth. And it became a comedy routine on some level, because it's like, I could use a straw for a year. I was like, no straws, nothing. But then I started doing exercises, and the acupuncture helped a little bit. And yeah, it was an experience I will never forget.
Right, especially because the business that you're in requires you to have your facial expressions in full motion and animation.
I fell apart into a very deep depression, because I thought, this is my world. I can't use my mouth. I can't use my mouth. I was deeply depressed for about three months or so. It kept lasting. I was dangerously depressed. Luckily, someone helped me out of it. But I was very distraught, despondent, because I just thought, I based my whole career on this.
Yeah.
And it's my dream career. I found it, my dream career. And I'm older. What am I gonna do now? I'm like, what am I gonna do now? Like, It was crazy, but I came through. I'm here. I'm proof I'm here. Many of us get through it, but they're still trying to do more research on it, like how it really does come on. But there's certain things that our bodies, our brains are complex. Our bodies are complex. And it just goes to, again, I started meditating after that. So this goes to, I can have stress. After I came out of it in 2019, I was so protective of myself. Like, nope, no stress. Bye, you're done. Bye, you're done. You get my nerves, bye, you're done. I don't have time. I don't have time for any stress or any craziness. I was like, nope, can't do it. And then a year later, 2020 happens.
Welcome back, stress.
So
and isolation and fear and everything that was happening.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like that is like so I'm laughing because it's almost 2 years ago, because March is coming up, and I'm like, that was like 2 years ago. Like that was a crazy time period. I mean, crazy.
It was.
It was crazy. It was.
Yeah.
I will never forget that time period either. It was like, wow, because 2019 was nice. We turned 50 that year, and I sold my house in Pittsburgh, and I had a man, and everything was good in 2019. I was like working it out, everything was good, and then 2020 came here. And that stopped. My business was doing well. I was on TV, and then 2020 came, and that was for me, March 17th, 2020. That was the day of infamy for me, where all my career shut down at once. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So yeah. All right. Well, this is Coffee Conversation. I'm James.
And I'm Melissa.
We gave you a nice little PSA today on your health. We didn't expect that. See, our conversations go from silly to serious. And seriously, your health is very important. So please, I know healthcare is crazy also, but please try to check your health. We want you to live a long, healthy life if you can. And a lot of times, early detection of, especially breast cancer, testicular cancer, early detection is everything. So get those yearly checkups. Don't be afraid. It'll be okay. Our show is on every streaming service you can think of. It's on YouTube at JLJ Media. We're here on Mondays having our coffee and our conversation. See you next time.